Sorry about the long wait, viewers. I've been busy with work these last few months. Hopefully I'll be able to finish this playthrough before the end of the year. In this episode we'll go through level 3, Butter Building. As soon as we start stage 1 we enter the giant structure. You can find the sword and parasol abilities here. Next is the entrance to the building. You can find the stone ability here. After that, Kirby has to battle a mini-boss with the microphone ability. Defeating it grants him that ability. On the outer perimeter of the tower, we will find the stage 1 exit on the top floor. Before that, however, there's a secret in this stage that I'd like to show you. Falling down the right side hole in the second to last room, you will come across suspicious looking blocks. Clear the way to find a secret passage leading to a switch that unlocks an arena in the level 3 overworld. Entering the door behind the switch takes Kirby to the top floor of the balcony. Exiting through the door, we complete stage 1. In the level 3 arena, there's an enemy with the wheel ability. For some reason, with the laser ability, I struggled to beat this mini-boss. I suppose that's just my luck when it comes to playing this game. Time to start stage 2. The beginning segment consists of a vertical section that Kirby must climb. The fire breath ability can be found here. Toward the top, there's an enemy that rides an M-tomato. The next segment takes place along the outside of the building. Rotating along the tower unlocks the door. In my opinion, I wouldn't use the wheel ability here unless you're skilled enough to turn around at the last moment, as you see me fail to do so here. After rotating around the tower, we enter another vertical segment that contains the stone, spark, and sword abilities. The next segment contains a mini-boss room to the left of the spawn area. I forget what power-up it gives you since I didn't enter the room. This place contains the sword and wheel abilities with spiked obstacles blocking the way. The next segment contains enemies with the ice ability blocking bomb tiles that lead to an M-tomato and a 1-up. After they finish blowing the ice, I demonstrate how you can obtain them. Next is a mini-boss that gives the backdrop ability. This enemy produces smaller variants of itself that fly around, which Kirby can use to spit back at the mini-boss. After defeating it, the exit appears and we complete stage 2. Let's move on to stage 3. Immediately, Kirby is thrust into a situation where he must maneuver around some enemies to reach the next segment. After that, we find ourselves in another rotating section. With a little help from the backdrop ability, this part becomes a breeze. Next up is a vertical segment that mirrors itself, and it is our job to go through the right doors to proceed. Once finished, we complete stage 3. We unlock the museum for level 3 by completing stage 3. Here, we can obtain the high jump ability. This can be used to deal damage to enemies that are above Kirby. As soon as we enter stage 4, we are prompted to use the Warp Star.
Warp Star!
Which takes us to a section where we have to battle Meta Knight's minions.
It is my duty to warn you. Kirby has great power now.
Yeah? Well, who's the king around here, you or me?
Move it or lose it!
It pains me to do this, sire, but I am afraid I must.
Hey, what's happening?
We're going back!
I know that! It's the
They won't hold! We're gonna crash!
Do something! Like what? Break my phone!
I'm certain that you know the drill by now. Defeating them unlocks a door to the next area. Not much to note here besides the sword and parasol abilities. Next is a vertical segment with winds that blow us further up the tower. On the way up you can find a few health items and a 1-up. Just like that, we've completed stage 4. We've unlocked a new minigame called Quick Draw. Here we are shown an Old West-styled segment where, if you time it correctly, you can obtain 1-ups. Usually I struggle with the final part, but I managed to record a rare moment where I successfully beat King DDD. Entering stage 5, we are greeted by 2 enemies. Walking over to the right, we can obtain invincibility, which we can use to plow through enemies in the next section. After that, we enter the building to obtain the sword ability on the far left, only to lose it to one of those moving spikes. An enemy with the hammer ability blocks our path, but with the right timing, we can beat them to move on. If you obtain the hammer, you can collect a health item and a 1-up before completing stage 5. Moving on to stage 6, we find ourselves in a room with a few enemies. Next is a side-scrolling section where enemies with the crash ability block our path. After that, we appear inside a tree for some inexplicable reason. How we go from being in a stone tower to a tree is beyond me. Next is the final rotation segment for this level. There are a few flying enemies here. Afterward is a vertical section that contains a secret. Not only can we find a health item, but a secret button that unlocks the egg catcher minigame. The next section takes place in a dark corridor with several enemies.
Mommy, mommy! Didn't say that, didn't say mommy. I meant to say it's kinda dark in here, and the lock is kind of a light kind of guy, not a dark kind of guy. But I'm not worried about it.
After that, we find ourselves in a vertical segment. Take caution here because the enemies with the high jump ability will deal explosive damage to Kirby. With that done, we've completed stage 6. Since I've shown the egg catcher minigame before, I will skip to show the results of what I've accomplished. Now for the climax of this episode, the bosses of Butter Building, Mr. Shine and Mr. Bright. This iconic duo has appeared in a few Kirby games, but this was the first time we see them in the entire series. Who we face first is entirely random. However, the one that resembles the moon is who we face first in this video. Normally he would throw boomerangs at Kirby, but I didn't quite get to capture that footage. With a few swings of the sword, we beat Moondrop. I mean, Mr. Shine. Now it's Sundrop's turn.
No! Why would you do that?
I mean, Mr. Bright. He would normally send fireballs at Kirby, but again, I didn't quite manage to capture that footage. Take caution of the falling stars that the defeated Mr. Shine sends down. As you can see, you can still be hit by their attacks even with the both of them defeated. With the third piece of the Star Rod obtained, we get to see a preview of Level 4, Grape Garden, a level that takes place mostly in the sky. I hope you enjoyed this episode of my Kirby's Adventure playthrough. I had a lot going on these last few months, but I'm grateful that you had the patience to wait for me. Leave a like, comment, or subscribe to the channel. My old computer is starting to show signs of aging, so it could be a while before I get around to working on my Majora's Mask playthrough. I will at least try to finish the series before my computer gives out completely. With that said, I hope to see you all on a paradise planet.